Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about Lando Norris's response to Max Verstappen's comments in Singapore, as well as some updates on some verdicts. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on X at James's Pit Lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with Verstappen, and as we know he qualified P2 in Singapore, but he was in contention to take pole position, but on his last lap he backed off and did not complete the lap. Basically this happened when Verstappen came up behind Norris in the final sector, and Verstappen felt that Norris, who was on his way back to the pits, having already completed his final flying lap, could have made more effort to leave a clear path for the Red Bull. And when asked whether he would try to talk to Norris about the incident, Verstappen said, as quoted by Sky F1, "No, I think it's quite clear that it's something that's not nice. We are always quite good at that, all the drivers. We try to stay out of the way. Sometimes, of course, it's always a bit more complicated in certain scenarios, so every scenario is a bit different, but in this case in Q3, with only 10 cars on the track, I think it could have been avoided." Now, in terms of the rules, Norris has not done anything wrong here. He's not blocked Verstappen. He was far enough ahead of Verstappen. And Verstappen's concern is more about what he clearly sees as a breach of the usual etiquette in qualifying, whereby teams and drivers do their best not to get in each other's way. But Norris has dismissed Verstappen's complaints over the incident, saying that Red Bull complain about everything. Norris said, as quoted by Sky F1, "They always complain. They complain about everything. That's Red Bull. I didn't even know. I was like 3 seconds ahead. I can't work it out." But let's move on to Williams, with both their cars being disqualified from qualifying in Singapore. Basically, Alex Albon qualified in 12th and Carlos Sainz qualified in 13th. But both cars were found to have exceeded the maximum limit of 85mm on both sides of the rear wing outer area. As a result, both cars were outside the technical regulations. Williams were called to see the stewards, and both cars were disqualified from qualifying. But they did obtain permission to start the race, having set appropriate lap times in practice. Now, during an investigation by the FIA stewards, it was found that Williams had measured the car with its own equipment before qualifying and found it to be legal, but the team did not protest against the FIA's findings, with team principal James Vowles starting an immediate investigation, with him saying, as quoted by Racing News 365, "During FIA scrutineering after qualifying, the rear wings on both our cars failed DRS slot gap checks. As a result, Alex and Carlos have been disqualified from qualifying for the Singapore Grand Prix. This is bitterly disappointing for the team, and we are urgently investigating how this happened. At no point were we seeking a performance advantage, and the rear wings had passed their own checks earlier in the day. But there's only one measurement that matters, and we fully accept the FIA ruling. We have a car capable of scoring points here this weekend, and we'll do everything we can to fight back from the back of the grid tomorrow, and we'll immediately review our processes to make sure this doesn't happen again." But let's move on to George Russell, and as we know, he took pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. Mercedes looking really good in Singapore, with teammate Kimi Antonelli going P4 as well. Now, a new verdict has been issued on George Russell. Basically, the stewards investigated an incident during qualifying of allegedly failing to slow under yellow flags. And the stewards did investigate this, but have decided that there should be no further action, and as a result, Russell keeps his pole position for the Grand Prix. In their verdict, the stewards said, "Race direction reported a possible yellow flag infringement. However, telemetry data clearly shows that the driver lifted throttle in the yellow flag zone. The stewards have consistently regarded such an action as a discernible reduction of speed in accordance with the requirements under yellow flag conditions, and therefore take no further action." So yeah, Russell did lift under yellow flags, and as I said, he keeps his pole position for the Grand Prix. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.